to war when the fandom flames rise higher. You're caught up in the crossfire. Culture safe. The wizard casting truth bombs. Maul bringing the fire. When the hot takes hit, you're in the culture crossfire. You're caught up in the crossfire.
All right.
Crossfire. It happened. We're here at night. This is the first ever evening Culture Crossfire because it's a special, Wizard. It is a special today because it's May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you, Marv.
It usually
How have you been celebrating?
I have been celebrating by writing a viral article on geeksandgamers.com.
And
I've also been celebrating by skewering Star Wars and articles on both websites all day today.
I've been tweeting about it all day. I just shot my Maul review video. I went and got the Burger King.
Oh, you got the Mando meal.
I got the Mando meal. Yeah, it's not good. It's the SpongeBob one was way better. This is nasty, man. There is so much garlic in this. It's gross.
Well, I mean, you're talking to an Italian right now, so I mean,
but it's not real. It's not real garlic. It's not. It's like that artificial garlic flavor. It's like garlic chemical. It's not real garlic. But yeah, so I got the Mando. I got my crown, but you know what else we got? We have, because this is a Star Wars celebration. We have joining us today on our first ever Culture Crossfire at Night. We have an expert joining us on the panel tonight.
We do.
We have an expert. We're going to bring him in here. We gotta play him on. Joining us now. The one, the only Lauren Connor, everybody. Welcome to Culture Crossfire.
Lauren, if we were on my StreamYard, as we are sometimes, I would have just played your intro video, but I think the hopping Godzilla worked.
No, that's fine. It's just I'm sort of debating my life choices now, understanding that this is a roast that you're doing here today. It's like I'm sort of wondering, should I really be here? I have a feeling this is going to go badly for me.
You're clearly trying to phase out of existence because your lower half keeps like vanishing.
It's stepping into the bushes, you know.
Yeah,
it's that thing.
Oh my goodness, Lauren, how you been celebrating May the 4th today?
Mostly watching all of the things they're not dropping. I actually thought today they were going to be making a number of announcements. I did too. I kind of thought that today was going to be the day they're breaking the silence, and instead they're being more silent. Which,
well, you know, you figure it's Dave Filoni's first May the 4th as head of the company. Like, what's he gonna bring to the table? We got our answer. Nothing.
Well, I think the numbers on Mando and Grogu have absolutely terrified them. The only thing that I have seen them drop today is a couple more shorts for the movie. I think they're trying not to step on that, but man, I expected at least something. And
Cal Kestis, something.
I think this is even more telling. Yeah, just very, very little.
I mean, I'm going to see if I can pull it up here, but it was literally, it's Star Wars Day, and all we got is like a single new clip about the Mandalorian movie where he's saying hop on the bike. And honestly, gentlemen, I think it contributes to the news that we're going to talk about. I think that things are being put on hold. They're starting to slow things down, and they're not going to release any more news because they have such problem delivering on the news that's announced. So I just think they're going to hold everything back now.
So
big time.
there's a couple things that I want to mention before we get into that. One is that there were 2 or 3 different drops for Mando and Grogu, besides just the get on the
Okay, so it was more than the
AT-AT.
one clip.
Yeah, I think there were 3, but they're all pretty much in the same 15-minute spread at the beginning of the movie. There's nothing really that you haven't already seen. They did release one trailer. I don't remember what it was called, but it was supposed to be a celebration of May the 4th as a whole. And it did include a couple of sequel clips, which did surprise me because
I saw that.
I thought they were going to be completely silent about that. So that may be a bit of a counterfactual to what we're thinking. But, I don't know. It's very, very weird.
Right. Well, before we get into that, because we do have we got a lot of stuff we're going to try to cover. We got some news, the big news that we're gonna have to break down, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about Maul if we have time, and then we're gonna try to have a little fun with a little Star Wars Day roast of some Disney stuff before we get to the end of our time here. But before we do that, Marv, we got to go to the chat.
We got to go to the chat. To the chat. Butter Biscuit for $2 saying was looking for what to watch. Got my chips ready. What flavor chips, brother? Hope they're. I would assume that you'd be eating butter biscuits.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Instead, he's having chips. So there was one before. There was also one before that. Also, Wiz for $1.99 above.
Let me see. The StreamYard did that thing where it removes it. Okay, here it is.
There we go. Mark Fields for $1.99 says positive vibes to the wonderful panel and chat. Positive vibes to you as well, Mark Fields. Always love having you around.
May the 4th be with you.
Juliet for £2 sterling says morning culture Crossfire and chat. Good morning to you, Juliet.
Good morning. Okay, let's see here.
And then Mark Fields again for another $1.99 says keep it up, all of you. Love this channel. We love you too, Mark Fields. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We are live right now, guys, on the M4 Empire and on the Real Life Fake Wizard live stream channel. What is it called? Fake Wizards Live?
Fake Wizards Live. A new live stream channel.
There you go. New live stream. Make sure you guys are all subscribed to both those channels. So Butter Biscuit also for $2 says, technically, I'm eating buttered popcorn. All right, well, that's close enough. This sunny side up short day.
Well, at least you're not eating the Burger King meal from.
Yeah, do you want to break it down? Like, have you eaten
Mandalorian?
Have you eaten it all already, or is it like?
Oh, well, this is just the box. Yeah, I got the crown and the I got this for like as soon as it switched over to lunch, I went out and got this because the SpongeBob meal sold out.
And you thought this one was going to? People like SpongeBob.
But no, I just where I live, they don't get a lot of these in stock, so I just didn't want to miss it on people accidentally getting it, and it just goes. Not that it was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get it.
So the Grinch meal, I remember at Christmas time sold out everywhere from McDonald's, and I remember the SpongeBob meal selling out too. But the K-pop Demon Hunters meal, they had all of those. They were perfectly fine with that one. I think they ordered way more than they thought they needed.
And it was also late too. Like K-pop Demon Hunters was already done. Like kind of, it's already passed. No, this comes with it's a burger and like some side stuff. But the big like takeaway is a collectible cup. But it's like a dollar store cup. Like it's plastic.
Oh,
it's extremely thin.
We are so far removed from the days where you get like the Flintstones glass mug, or the Batman and Robin or Batman Forever glasses.
Yeah, I was like, this is it. I'm just gonna leave it. They come in the plastic. I'm just leaving them in the plastic. Like maybe one day there will be someone who wants these, like on eBay or something. Like
the thing that I've noticed about Burger King though. Like, I still love their burgers, like the flame broil. I still enjoy it. But the service, I have never had good service at a Burger King in the last decade. No. It is like, it's like if you're not smart enough to work at McDonald's, you work at Burger King.
Yeah. There's also like the deals. Like you get the deals on Burger King's like routinely cheaper with the deals than McDonald's is. Although McDonald's is trying to compete with that now, it seems.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why you would expect something different. They are the Burger King. You are the Burger Peasant.
Oh, so they're lording it over me.
Is that how it is?
That's how I've always interpreted it. Yes.
Hold on. They're saying in the chat that Burger King meal is $24.99.
It's $19.99 here.
Get out of town.
Yeah, it's $19.99.
$20?
$20. Yeah.
For the Mandalorian and Grogu?
And I did it because I wanted the crown. we were gonna try and do like some other content with it, and then we were like, actually, this is not very it's kind of gross, and after consuming it, you just don't feel very good.
Yeah, I would assume you didn't.
Yeah. Here,
to be
garlic.
Fair, like, I feel the same way about like Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box is terrible food. It is awful food, but I love it, and I consume it, and it makes me sick every time, and I don't care.
My grandfather used to call White Castle's burgers "Oh my gods," because 4 hours later you're on the toilet going, "Oh my god."
Yeah, man. The Burger King meal, not so good. The SpongeBob was quite a bit better. And the cup is it's a piece of crap.
I mean, the Grinch meal came with socks. That was amazing.
No socks here.
And I wanted to collect them all, but then like I was only able to get the Grinch meal once before it like sold out forever. And I think they've realized that these adult Happy Meals, like that's like a gold mine for them.
What a world we live in. The regular Happy Meals don't work, but the adult Happy Meals clean up.
Yep.
But all right, we don't want to waste any more time. We got a big story we got to cover. So let's get to the culture.
To the culture.
All right. Gentlemen, I will leave it to one of you to better introduce this because I will screw the introduction up. That's how big this one is.
All right, so this is a scoop from WW Pro, from a reliable source that has given reliable information on Lucasfilm in the past that has turned out to be true. Reliable information that was given at a time when every other YouTube channel was saying something exactly the opposite of what this guy had told us, and he ended up being right. So Pro's scoop here is that Disney is apparently saying to Dave Filoni, if Ahsoka season 2 does not hit, that's it. We're done. We are going to retcon the sequel trilogy, or not retcon, but we're going to use some form of chicanery. Lauren and I have our own ideas about what it might be to basically erase the sequel trilogy from continuity so that you can move forward with Han, Luke, and Leia stories and not actually ever bump into the sequels. Because that's been the problem with every story they've told that takes place after Return of the Jedi is, the sequels are right around the corner and you don't care.
Yeah, all roads lead to Rey Palpatine.
I would say all roads lead to Jake Skywalker, but yes, you're right.
Yeah, well.
Lauren, did I get all that?
Yeah, and actually, I got into a bit of a debate this morning with somebody who follows us and has sent me some stuff in the past, and some fans had a theory that the actual turning point is when Grogu decides to take the chain armor instead of Yoda's lightsaber, and that is the moment at which everything goes wrong. And the theory was based on the idea that some people believe that if Luke takes Grogu as his first apprentice, then he doesn't take Ben, and thus Ben doesn't become Kylo Ren. And I said, no, let me explain it this way. The issue is that when Din took Grogu back from the client, they used all of their supply of blood that they were using for their cloning experiments, which is why they needed to reacquire Grogu. So the issue is that if, going back to the World Between Worlds, Ezra uses the World Between Worlds to save Ahsoka from dying. Because Ahsoka lives, she is available to tell Din to go to Tython to use the Jedi Seeing Stones to find somebody to train Grogu. When Grogu is captured, Luke comes to their rescue, and everything transpires as has been seen. My point is that if Ahsoka does not live, then Grogu is not recaptured and they don't get the supply of blood. And because they don't have the supply of blood, they can't continue on with their cloning experiments. Palpatine is not resurrected. That's essentially the chain. Now, there's still a flaw in this theory in that the tracking device is still on Din's ship from when he had it repaired. So they would still be trying to acquire Grogu. But if they eliminate Ahsoka saving herself, or Ezra saving Ahsoka rather, then the timeline of events falls out in a very different way. And I think the argument is that we know in Ahsoka season 2 that we're going to be following Baylan Skoll still. At the end of the series, he was at a monument that was obviously memorializing the gods of Mortis. The gods of Mortis are tied to the world between worlds. Baylan Skoll is this canon's versions of Jorah Sabaoth. Thrawn has now returned to the galaxy. My guess is that he's going to be in communication with Baylan Skoll. Thrawn is a strategist. He will be able to show Ahsoka that because you survived, this is the course of events that occur in the future, and show her the portals that indicate the First Order rises, Palpatine is resurrected. All of this happens because you did not pass into the afterlife and take on your role as the daughter.
Right.
So the solution is he brings her to the world between worlds as it is shattering. This is a process that is moving both forward and backward in time. She takes on her role as the daughter. Because of this, none of those events occur. Palpatine is not cloned and resurrected, and you can move forward then with the timeline as it should have occurred. With, by the way, Thrawn back in the galaxy and set to be where he should be for the proper sequels, if that's where they want to go.
Right, for Heir of the Empire.
So we're not talking about a full restart. We're talking about a sever, like, and kind of continue forward almost.
Yeah.
So so we would reposition Thrawn, because that's something I wondered after we spoke about it previously. Like, if there was this big reset, are we just picking up after Return of the Jedi? And then, I mean, we've already wasted Thrawn then, because we don't see it. Like, then everything from Ahsoka would be meaningless with this Thrawn.
Yeah, but at the end of Rebels, doesn't Thrawn still goes to the other galaxy?
He goes to Peridea.
That has to happen for them to be able to find the entrance to the world between worlds. That has to happen. But because the timeline changes cascade both forward and back in time, it allows us to go back to the end of Return of the Jedi or the start of The Mandalorian if you want to pick up from there. But we can essentially eliminate season 3 of The Mandalorian. And this goes to a point that I see in the chat here, where someone is saying that in the Bad Batch, that the cloning project got shut down because of events in that scene. Yes, but The Mandalorian season 3 takes place after that. And at the beginning of The Mandalorian season 3, they reference Project Necromancer. It's still ongoing because they have Grogu's blood. Grogu's blood is the key here. And they have to keep the Imperial remnant from capturing it. And so I think to erase all of this stuff, you have to stop them from capturing Grogu on Tython in season 2.
Okay. So now that we have this news that there's that if Ahsoka underperforms, that they're just going to move forward with splintering the timeline. Do you think that this season of Ahsoka is still going to have Abeloth in it? Because that's a pretty big deal. And we did hear that a couple of years ago there was casting rumors of another woman that was supposed to be in this show.
I have never fully bought into those rumors. I don't know that they really intended for it to be Abeloth, but if they do, my hope is, I pray to God, cast a lookalike of Kathleen Kennedy. Let her be the self-insert she was meant to be. make her brunette and try to adopt a British accent, but do it poorly, and make sure that everybody absolutely hates her. That's all I ask.
I mean, Marv, what do you think about all this?
Look, I said last night, I said it in my video that just came out on the M4 Empire. I'll say it again now. I don't care how we get here. I don't care if Thanos snaps this into existence. I don't care if the Blue Fairy, played by Cynthia Erivo from the live-action Pinocchio, shows up and does a magic spell to make this happen. I don't care. I just want it to happen. I will never, like, it was almost kind of like, one of the worst comic books I've ever read is Batman R.I.P., Grant Morrison's Batman R.I.P., and I didn't understand anything that happened. It was completely ridiculous. And at the end of it, I just said, all right, the takeaway from here is Batman's dead now.
Well, and I people in the chat are saying, and I disagree with the way that it's being framed here. I don't see this as a multiverse event because you're not actually creating a multiverse. I think calling it a splinter isn't quite right. It's more like
an erasure.
The world between worlds is a nexus of all space and time within the Force. Right. That's why you can see everything in it, and all of these portals show all of the important events in the timeline. It's more like you loop time back around and you change an event so that the timeline can continue forward from the event as it changed, but it's not really creating a split timeline or an alternate timeline. It's erasing the timeline because you remove the event that caused things to go awry. It's still the same universe. It's still the same timeline. You just sort of reverse and re-record.
And the shockwave reverberates backward and wipes out the High Republic.
It does allow you to basically do whatever you want with it. It is a cheat. And I'm not saying it's not a cheat, but I'm also saying it's not a multiverse. And honestly, if you get what you want, do you care how it's achieved? Because honestly, nothing's ever going to erase the stink of the sequels from your mind. You're never going to forget that they happened. But if you actually got the characters that you want and they were portrayed correctly and you got the storyline that you wanted and it was done skillfully, you'll forgive it. You'll forgive and forget. You'll forgive them if they give you the content you want, and you'll forget the other stuff over time.
I've never been the big fan of like the whole Mortis gods. I know that like George created them. I've never really liked that, but the idea of now Anakin is supposed to be the father, and Ahsoka is supposed to be the daughter. Who's the son going to be? Grogu? Do we have? I don't think we know who that would be.
It would make so much sense if they had canonized Starkiller, and it ended up being Starkiller, because it's Anakin's dark side apprentice.
The two apprentice. Yeah.
Well, can I offer a suggestion that everybody's going to hate?
Maul.
Just off the top of my head.
You're going to say Maul, aren't you?
I'm not going to say Maul.
He's going to say Kylo Ren.
No, I'm not going to say that either, because he'd be erased.
You're going to say
That's
Luke.
Right.
I am going to say Luke. But not the Luke you're thinking of. Luke.
With the two U's?
Because if you do some version of the Thrawn trilogy and you do have a cloned Luke, that one goes down. And that is a dark Luke. So you've got a son analog. And honestly, think about it this way. Anakin is, in a sense, if he's the father, Ahsoka is kind of his adopted daughter, and Luke is definitely his son. So the father and son and daughter roles are correct.
Right.
I guess.
I knew you'd hate it.
I do
Luke.
hate it. Well, here's the thing. You can't kill Luke again. Like, Luke can't die again. Like, if we're going to do this and bring Luke back, Luke's got to be around for a long time.
Luke, yes.
But you're not Luke.
Luke, yes. Luke.
Yeah, no. I can't imagine a world where we get Luke.
I would love it, though. I actually loved that climax because I thought that it was clever.
I think you're going to have to explain what Luke is to everybody, because people
that's not hard, because look, they already didn't do that when they said, "Where did this lightsaber come from?" That's a good story for another time. Well, now we're telling that story.
I mean you to the chat right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a lot of people don't know who Luke is. Luke is.
All right,
so I can do that. I can actually do that. So in the old EU, the explanation for how Luke's lightsaber ends up back in Mara Jade's hands, because it actually goes to her, is because Imperial agents went down to the bottom of that giant wind tunnel and found Luke's severed hand and his lightsaber, and they were taken to an Imperial facility, Mount Tantus, that was a storeroom of artifacts that the Emperor kept. And when Thrawn discovered Mount Tantus and the secret of successfully quickly growing a non-mad clone, he cloned Luke. And in the Thrawn trilogy, this is kind of silly, but I did like it. I'm one of those guys who likes this.
Mm-hmm.
Clones are designated by extending the vowels of their name. So a clone of Luke was Luke. And in the climax of the story, Luke had to fight a clone of himself that was under the command of the mad Jedi Master Jorah Sabaoth. And I imagine in the new canon that would be fulfilled by Baylan Skoll, because he's their version of Sabaoth. So there you go.
I have got to read this trilogy again, because
they're up on my channel. Just listen to them.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
I think, unfortunately, all of this is too confusing, and the audience attention is already not there.
I don't think anyone's ever going to even notice, though. I think it's just going to be like, we're going forward with these stories.
Well, here's my counter argument to you. I agree with you, Wizard. I actually think trying to explain all of this is way too much, and it just overcomplicates things and frustrates the audience. But I've talked to multiple people. I told the story last night about how the guy I was in an audience with for episode 1 didn't realize that it was episode 1. I talked to somebody else who was telling me that they watched Rogue One in the theater with somebody and said they're building a 4th Death Star.
Yeah.
You know, the casuals, they don't pay attention that close. They're just there to watch a movie and eat popcorn. We're the ones who care. And
I think that has a shelf life, though. And I think that shelf life has been burned. The goodwill on that has been burned away. I mean, you had, let's see, Mandalorian. And even then, it's like, well, where does the Mandalorian take place? We've had the movies. We had Rogue One, which is different in the timeline. We've had Solo, which is different in the timeline than Mando 2, Boba Fett.
That is a hallmark of Star Wars, though. It has never been released chronologically, ever.
Right. We're all over, but now it's scale, though. You know, before it was just books, and you could look on the back and be like, oh, where does this take place? You could look at in the back of the book. Where are we in the timeline? And it was only really the Star Wars. I wouldn't even say diehard fan. It was Star Wars fans who were reading the books. I wouldn't even say it was normies. But now we need to make normie billions again.
Yep. Yes, I agree. But all they have to do there, honestly, this is part of the reason why I have argued that, honestly, I don't think you need to tell a big epic story. I don't think you need to continue the saga of the Skywalkers even, although I think they should be involved as background characters. I think what you need to do is tell smaller stories with, honestly, no-name actors in an ensemble. Mm-hmm. You tell stories in particular eras, and you find out who hits. And then you build new big stories around those characters. I think because then you're restoring stakes as well. You don't know who lives and who dies. You don't know who has a destiny and who doesn't. If it were me, I'd be starting off with an X-Wing series pronto.
Honestly, I think they just need to wipe it away so they can keep going, because they've realized that people care. Like when Galaxy's Edge was full to the brim with people the first day of Luke, Han, and Leia, I think they're starting to realize, like, hey guys, this is what people want. They know that the last time people showed any genuine emotional attachment to Star Wars was the Mandalorian season 2 finale. They know that they need these characters.
They have ample data. Data isn't the question. The main thing I think that they've been wrestling with is they can't truly give us what we want. It's impossible. So they got to figure out what's the minimum that they can get away with. And the answer is one they don't like. They've got to get rid of the sequel trilogy first and foremost.
Yeah.
So then they got to figure out how are they going to do it. And the answer is it's never going to be satisfying how they do it. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you got to do it. And I think the real calculation that they've been doing is, again, I said this last night. What if they just came out and said, don't even bother trying to explain it. Just say, you know what? We made a mistake. We're decanonizing it. It didn't happen. Forget it. We're starting over. Then they come out and they do something new. And what they do is crap. Now they got nothing.
Doo-doo and crap.
They got nothing. And so I think the problem from their standpoint is we're not making much money now. Very, very little money. Well, we're actually losing money, but at least people are buying some stuff. Like, for instance, Wizard bought a Happy Meal today.
That's right.
You know?
Right.
You got me for $20.
Yeah. If they wipe the slate clean and then what they produce is bad or worse, everybody's mad and they don't get a do-over. They have no do-overs. So they are painted into such a corner right now that it is almost impossible to fix it.
You know, but like, okay, completely agree. But the writing team that they have is incapable of firstly delivering a satisfying switcheroo, and they're incapable of actually delivering on what you just said. Of it has to be satisfying, and they can't do it.
I don't.
I don't think they can.
With it. I think you're mostly right. I agree with you that ideologically, I think most of them are incapable of doing so, and I think that you shouldn't be putting your faith in Filoni. But the fact of the matter is, Filoni is a 50-50 guy. He has produced good content. I wouldn't say he's produced great content, but he has produced good content. And I would argue, I would still argue that Andor, I think, is great. There is a possibility to make great Star Wars. I would argue that Rogue One is great Star Wars.
I keep making the case that people are really enjoying these AI movies from channels like Star Wars Tales Untold and Star Wars Chronicles and Base Windu and all that stuff.
And to be fair, a lot of that is crap too. It's amateurish storytelling, but you can tell that it's done with heart from people who care about it. And the fact that people are reacting to it, this is why I push back on all the blackpilling, is that for as much as everybody is angry, myself included, and as frustrated as we are, you do still care about the property and you want to have good stuff, but you've been disappointed so many times and you're so angry about it that it's honestly Hawkeye.
You have no faith anymore.
It's Hawkeye. Don't give me hope. Don't do that. And that's why, because nobody wants to be hurt again, and I get it.
Lauren, we just had Darth Maul fighting Darth Vader, and I feel nothing.
I know, but think about that. Why do you feel nothing?
Well, okay. Well, that's the context of the show. We both know that we know that these characters where they have to end up. So all of the fights really just feel more like padding because
I don't think it's even.
We know what's going to happen.
It's not even that we know what's going to happen, because it's like that hardly matters. What matters is the character journey.
Well, these characters did.
In this case, it's that. It's just content. It's so nakedly just content. It's like it's more stuff to consume, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how Maul became the head of Crimson Dawn. I mean, you can fill that in your mind in 2 seconds. It's like the man was a Sith Lord, like it or not, and he is powerful, and it makes sense that if he really had this big a chip on his shoulder, he's going to try and build a power base of some kind, and the underworld makes sense. That's all you need to know. You don't have to do all that other stuff.
Yeah, I think with everything we're seeing with this Mandalorian and Grogu film, and having just experienced Maul and how, as you said, it's just content. I don't think they have it in them to do anything other than just content now.
That would really be upsetting, because that's the thing that you have to think about here. Like, if they bring back Luke, Han, and Leia, and it stinks.
Oh, not good.
That's kind of what I'm trying to make the point about. This is why it's dangerous. And I have said this many times, and it always gets me in trouble. I know everybody wants the Thrawn trilogy. That's what we ultimately want, is the true sequel series.
Well, they've proven they
But-
can't write the character, though.
But novels and movies are different mediums. And I don't think you can tell the Thrawn story. You can't abridge it. You kind of need all that stuff in there. And there's a lot of stuff in there. And you can get content across the page, for instance, all of Mara Jade's backstory, because you're hearing characters' thoughts as you read them. You can see their memories. In a movie, you've got flashbacks, but you can't have an entire movie of exposition. You just can't do that. So it's one of those things where it's like, be careful what you wish for. I know what we want, but what we're going to get is necessarily going to be different because it has to be.
Yeah, just wait. We're going to get Disney Star Wars Yuzhan Vong. that's what's going to happen next.
I mean, look, I love the Yuzhan Vong, but
yeah,
I don't think Dave Filoni is the guy to tell their story.
I don't think Dave Filoni is the guy to tell any stories anymore. I have so zero faith in this guy, mostly because of how he structures the episodes. So I mean, if we like, we jump into some of the Maul stuff, like
right.
The first 3 episodes of this show should have been most of this show.
Yes.
And then from there, it should have been adventure. Like you could have done weekly 2-episode adventures leading into, you want to bring Vader in for this big finale. Okay, fine. You do that. You bring Vader in and you hint at Vader's coming. But this show spends so much time just with other characters that aren't the title figure that we're here for.
That we don't care about.
That we don't care about. I mean, the guy's getting gunned. Everybody's getting dead in the final episode, and I'm like, I feel nothing for you. I don't care. Are we supposed to feel something here? I don't care at all.
When Lawson got gunned down, I'm like, the only tragedy here is that you're still in the show.
He lived. He'll live. He has to live. They set up a smoking gun with him. He saw that Maul abandoned Master Daka. So he's got to live to tell Devin so that she can turn on Maul and then fight Maul and beat him.
Yeah, that's and beat him handily, yes.
Beat him easily. That's what's going to have to happen 1,000,000% that's what's going to be. They set it up. Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked out that way. There's not a chance he's dead.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because Maul like pushed him, right? Didn't he like force push him at Vader or something like that?
Force pushed him, yeah, to put him off guard.
Yeah. See, I always thought that like okay, so Vader not speaking at all throughout that fight, I was like, I don't know if I love or hate that. Because, like, on the one hand, Vader isn't going to monologue, typically, with something like this. But I felt like they were like, we don't know what to do about James Earl Jones's AI voice yet. And we don't want to catch the flack for it. So Vader's just not going to speak.
But for a meeting between Maul and Vader,
the first meeting,
they have to speak. Maul would be so incensed at seeing him there.
He had no idea who he was.
He figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
He knew this was not an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And there's only one other person that could be. So
let's cue that up. So the whole season is the Inquisitors fighting. They're fighting the lackey Inquisitors that Ahsoka bodies, like they're actual threats. And it all ends with Vader showing up, and then we get basically full episode that obnoxiously cuts back and forth between.
I was just going to make that point.
Gosh!
Every time they cut away from Maul and Vader, and I saw two Boots and Lawson, I screamed.
God.
It was the only other time I've ever been that mad at a cutaway was when they were cutting away from Vader and Obi-Wan to show us Reva chasing Luke.
Yes. Oh my gosh, man. So yeah, and it all culminates into a very long fight between Vader and the other 3 lightsaber wielders, of which Vader says nothing.
Which, by the way, was not well choreographed either. There's really only 2 moves in that fight that actually looked like they were competent moves. Vader wasn't even he wasn't even fighting like himself. He's still got the heavy swing, but he's way slower than he should be. And I get that you want him to be the lumbering monster, but this was ridiculous.
This is Vader from Temu.
It's also still very early Vader, so he's probably still adapting his fighting style. And that was always a thing in the EU. Him trying to figure out how to fight in the suit.
No, I'm not giving that to you. No. It's you saw Rogue One. Come on.
Okay, you're right.
Worse than that, if we're supposed to be see, this is something I've criticized Disney for years, and I catch a lot of flack for it. Stop making comic books. Stop writing the books, Disney, because you're going to retcon them the moment you're ready to retcon them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You will throw the comic books away, no matter how cool they are. The ones that are good, stop printing them because you're never going to respect them. And in the comics, even the 2015 run of Vader, he's cool.
He is cool.
He's cool. You know, all I see here are dead men. And it's like, he's got these one-liners that are really cool. And for him to be in this fight with Darth Maul and say nothing, it's out of character.
I really think it was the AI. It was the AI thing. They didn't want to catch the flack for using AI to recreate James Earl Jones's voice, even though they're allowed to do it.
I agree with you. I do think that's the reason. But I also agree with Wiz because Vader relishes the opportunity to get that saber out and fight, even when he's frustrated at having lesser opponents. It's like, you ever seen the YouTube videos where it's like they're making him the drama queen? He's such a drama queen.
Yes.
It's true. Part of the reason it's funny is because it's absolutely true. When you realize in Rogue One that he turned off his chest lights to make the dramatic entrance in the hallway. It's like, yeah, okay. Vader likes to vamp a little bit. So the fact that he wouldn't speak in this fight against, let's face it, Maul's a drama queen too. The idea of these two queens being able to vamp against each other, that's a tremendous missed opportunity.
Ridiculously so. It's out of character for Vader, and you got to think like, okay, well, it is Anakin in there who is also a drama queen. Like,
yes.
You've got this is a guy who would be sassy with them the whole time.
I kind of hate that Marv dropped because he's got to go do something for a few minutes, because I was going to say this should have been a bit like the Birdcage. You know, this should be that kind of drama where you've got these two flamboyant people that are just emoting at each other. Because that's all they are. They're just pure raw emotion, both of these guys. And it should have been a soap opera. And instead it was just it was going it was going through the motions. It was paint by numbers. There was nothing there was nothing to get excited about in this.
No.
You shouldn't. No. Look, we've got two Inquisitors, a Sith Lord, a Jedi Master, and a young Padawan, all in a fight. I should not be bored. I should not be looking at my watch and going, how much time is left in this episode? Can it just be over? And that's what it was.
It's disappointing because you could tell, like, it was almost as if they decided, hey, it's going to be Maul versus Vader. We want to see Maul versus Vader. And then they tried to write a story around that, knowing that Vader needs to show up in the end. It's like they were preparing this backwards. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But it certainly plays out that way. And Maul being handicapped for most of his own show, what were they thinking?
Well, that was them trying to tie it to the fact that he had a limp in Rebels. They had to explain that. And also, they had to gimp him so that when he's fighting the Inquisitors, they have a chance, which, again, is dumb.
Because they need to live.
Yes. And it's like, no, this is not a chance. And I see somebody saying, not understanding that Maul is Obi-Wan's adversary, not Vader's. Yes, but part of Maul's obsession is the idea that he cannot let go of the fact that he was replaced. He has this idea that he was meant to be this character of destiny. He was a Sith Lord. He was going to be at the right hand of Darth Sidious, and he has never gotten over the fact that he was just cast aside and thrown away. And it keeps happening. He refuses to learn the lesson. When he goes back, he basically takes over Mandalore and gains the Darksaber and the allegiance of the Night Watch just to try and get Sidious's attention. And Sidious goes and says, okay, sure, let's do this. And he absolutely bodies both him and Savage Opress. And you'd think Maul would learn then, but no. It's like, fine, I'm not going to take over Mandalore. I'll take over the underworld. He cannot let it go. He cannot let go of Obi-Wan. And if he saw Vader and understood that this was his replacement, you can bet he'd be raging about that.
And he would have fought to the death. He wouldn't have been so cowardly, I would say. It would have been, I need to beat you, or really, I guess, even if he falls back, it should now be with the intention of we're going to train to kill Vader.
Now, one of the interesting things about this show, I'll actually give them some credit for one thing in this show. I do think that Maul, at this point, recognizing that Order 66 has taken place, he knows who Sidious is. He recognizes what's been done. I think that he's actually being somewhat truthful when he's talking to Devon and saying, we should be allies. At this point, we both lost everything. We have the same enemy. I think his vengeance has changed in a way. It's not that he wants to be the Sith Lord again. It's just that he wants to take down those who wronged him. Obi-Wan and Darth Sidious.
Which is such a shame because, that's another thing I'd be curious to know what you say. The whole he has this whole flashback sequence in episode 8. Arguing with himself, recontextualizing the trauma. Wastes of an episode, by the way, because we already knew everything that he was going to say. But he said there's a line in there of talking about Sidious, and he says, "Never again." What are you going to do? It's as if they're setting him up that now he's going to go take on Sidious. That's not going to happen. We know how Sidious' story ends. So why waste the time having that dialogue when it actually means nothing? That's the problem. We know too much. We know they keep putting these stories in for characters that we already know what happens to them. You can't make them more interesting than they already are.
Well, this is why I think this was just the wrong story to tell. There is a story to tell with Maul, but it's the one where he's already the head of Crimson Dawn and what happens after Solo. Because between Solo and Rebels, somehow he ends up cast
on
down
Malachor
again. Yeah, and his last shot is with Ezra. But that whole episode has him crossing paths with Obi-Wan again, and Obi-Wan finally ends him. But that's the story I want to know, was what happened with Crimson Dawn. I've confessed this before. I like Solo. I have problems with Solo. I think that everything involving L3 and the relationship with Lando and how they portrayed Kessel, which is kind of a minor thing, I have problems with all of those things. I also have a problem with Enfys Nest, but it's not the problem that everybody else has. It's that I think they focused on that part of the story too much. Everything else about Solo, I'm fine with. And I would have liked to have seen Solo 2 and 3. And I think you could have done some really interesting stuff with that. But we're never going to get it. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they've put that on the back burner the way that they have. And, there hasn't been the comic series. There hasn't been the book series. We've seen Kira appear in other things. She was in Outlaws. So we know that she lives into the trilogy, even though it was clear she was being set up to die by the time we got to New Hope. But they
this is
can't.
again.
They won't
It's
kill any of the women.
It's Kathleen doing the girl boss thing again. They only focused on Kira, and she turned up in lots of places in the comics and stuff. But it's like that's not the story we want. Honestly,
Right.
one of the reasons that I like Solo and also Andor is that they did do some deep cut old EU stuff that got recanonized. Basically, everything at the start of Andor is taking place in the Disney version of the Corporate Sector Authority. And that would have been where Solo's early adventures were all taking place. They could have done loose adaptations of the Brian Daley Han Solo trilogy, and that would have been fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
But we lost the
Or,
opportunity.
it would have been nice to see Han Solo get to do some of that stuff too.
That's what I'm saying is that they made lots of references in Solo to the Han Solo trilogy and the Lando Calrissian trilogy. Imagine if instead of L3 that they had put in Vufi Ra, which is a deep cut, kind of a weird character, but
yeah,
you know how happy fans would have been? That's the kind of stuff they need to be doing.
I just don't. After, because we talked about it when the news broke which, by the way, for everybody that's joined us, the news that we talked about before is Disney might be scrapping the sequel trilogy if Ahsoka underperforms. But based on Maul, I don't want more of this level of storytelling. I don't want where it's one story stretched over the course of weeks. And that's like the Disney Plus go-to. It's not even just Star Wars. It's all of their shows. They take one small idea and they stretch it to death. And at that point, it's just boring. Daredevil's done the same thing. Maul's done the same thing. These are two shows that are happening right now. And tonight, I think Daredevil finally ends.
Another reason that I think that it's a bad idea is that part of what made Star Wars cool, the original Star Wars, going all the way back to the beginning, is you had all this stuff on the screen. And it was cinematic, and it felt like you could poke into any corner and you would find something fascinating. But you didn't know who everybody was. You didn't know what all of the technology was, and you could just imagine. You didn't have to know. When you fill in every single corner and every single second and give every single character a story, you rob the audience of the ability to imagine what could be there. And I think that they've been doing way too much of that. Honestly, in a lot of ways, what they should do is just mothball everything for at least 10 years. Let the anger and everything else cool off. But the problem is that they failed a generational capture. And there would not be the opportunity to have nostalgia want you to bring it back because they didn't capture that last generation. Also, they don't have the patience to try and fix it. So they're going to try and fix it somehow. They don't have good options. Nothing is going to work the way we would want it to. So it's not a good hand.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
So have you guys gone through this article yet?
No, we were waiting for you, and then
sorry,
I
have important call I had to take.
It's all good. It's Star Wars Day. What are you taking important calls for?
Oh, important calls are important calls.
All right, so we do have some data that recently dropped. Marv, what is the deal going on here with these streaming viewership numbers?
Yeah. Okay, so Nielsen put out a bunch of Star Wars statistics for 2025 for Star Wars Day, and Variety reported them. And so you see right here, content viewing by format. You see live action movies is the biggest chunk. Animation has got, 16.8%. The live action series are 38.9%, and the documentaries are at a 0.2%. So
that's wild.
Yeah. But then when you see what movies they're actually watching, that's going to, the top 10: Andor, A New Hope, Phantom Menace, Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith. And this is from May 4th, 2025, by the way. A year ago. Attack of the Clones, Return of the Jedi, Rogue One, Tales of the Underworld, and The Clone Wars. And Tales of the Underworld at the time was brand new.
So was it? It wasn't brand new. This would have been season 2. So season 2 had just come out.
But look at that. All 3 original trilogy movies, all 3 prequel trilogy movies, and 2 animated series and Rogue One and Andor. Nothing that even sniffs the sequel trilogy or the Acolyte.
I'm so curious to know what it is now.
When you,
because we had Andor was out, which then I would say then Rogue One and New Hope are elevated because they're connected to Andor. So take us a year past that. What is it?
And when you look at what they're actually saying that people are watching just in general, you get, they mentioned Mandalorian, they mentioned Skeleton Crew, nothing, not one sequel movie, not the Acolyte.
And weren't we at, I think last year was also the 25th for something. There was a 25th for something, was it? Oh no, that was 24th.
It was the 10th for The Force Awakens. And so, I when Matt Bellany did that focus group with those teens and he asked them about Star Wars and none of them gave a crap, I was like, these are the kids that they were hoping were going to have nostalgia for the sequels, because when the sequels came out, these 17 and 18-year-olds were 7 and 8 years old.
Right.
Wiz, I think what you may have been thinking was the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
That's it.
Remember we watched Revenge of the Sith together last year, Lauren.
Yes, we did. Although I was asleep for most of it.
You were.
Well, you've seen it enough, don't you know? You know every line by heart now, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's still fun to do it. The whole reason we ended up watching it was because they had the theatrical re-release, and we were hoping to go see it, but we missed the opportunity, so we ended up watching it.
We ended up seeing Thunderbolts instead.
Yeah.
So, I think this chart lends credence to everything we've been saying. They've got a problem. They know they have a problem. The data, which this is a data-rich company, Lauren, like you said, this is a data-rich company, and they know that there's a problem. But do they have the creativity to dig their way out of the problem?
The most fascinating thing to me is, and I started paying attention to this a lot more closely, because when the rumors last year came out that Kathleen Kennedy was leaving and she came out with a vehement denial, suddenly everything behind the scenes got very, very quiet. And I was like, I pay really close attention to what are the leaks, what are the rumors, what are the whispers coming out, and suddenly nothing. And it became apparent Rey wasn't moving forward, that Dawn of the Jedi wasn't moving forward, that Taika's movie wasn't moving forward, and the sense was they're just holding their breath, they're waiting. And then we did hear rumors about they're thinking about tinkering with Galaxy's Edge. They're adjusting some things. And we would hear this stuff kind of in the background. And I started thinking the word has come down. And I would talk about it a little bit to start with, but by the time we were about 6 months into it, I was starting to get pretty adamant about it. Somebody has said, nobody says squat until Kathleen is gone.
Yep.
We're just waiting her out. And then there's going to be a pivot. And we are very clearly seeing them take action now, even though they're not technically announcing that's what they're doing.
Well, I mean, look at things like that Spirit jersey thing that I reported on a few weeks ago, where they had a blind box Spirit jersey thing at Disney parks, and it was one shirt for each movie. And you don't know which movie you're going to get.
Oh, yeah.
It was only 1 through 6. They did not do 7, 8, and 9, because could you imagine doing an $80 mystery box if there was a chance you were going to pull out a Last Jedi shirt?
No one would buy it.
Yeah.
You'd have a 1/3 chance of a sequel. Nobody would buy it.
This is why I'm so fascinated by what's going on now, is that for so long, they have been saying, all of this is BS. It's a vocal minority who doesn't like this. These movies are really, really popular. Now, today, on May the 4th, when I would expect them to be dropping stuff, they're still being quiet. I have never felt anything that feels so much like panic out of this company as I do now. I think they're genuinely afraid. And that's interesting.
This is exciting. This is exciting. We talk about this all the time of like, oh, well, how to fix things, or things are broken. What's the history? Why did it happen? Who let it happen? And now here we are seeing in real time on Star Wars Day, the company is terrified. Wow. We got a Star Wars movie dropping in a couple of weeks. We have a massive show with huge implications to the canon, whether it was connected to the sequel's ending or not. Like Ahsoka season 2 needs to deliver on the promises it set up 2 years ago with season 1. It's got big shoes it's got to fill.
We don't even have a release date for it yet. I think it's just a vague 2026.
And
part of the secrecy.
Season 1 was awful. But, you know, I think what's really going to be telling is we had that story a few weeks ago about Disney hiring Trump's former lawyer to push back against this unauthorized book about Iger's tenure at Disney, you know, and that's not Iger hiring that lawyer. That's Disney. That's interesting part number one. The next interesting part is going to be when everybody else starts writing books, because that is going to happen someday. Everything that happened behind the scenes is going to come out, and you want to know what that's going to do to their stock price?
Oh yeah, I'm sure Kathy's going to write a book at some point.
She's gonna push somebody else under the bus.
Oh yeah, it'll be Bob. It'll be Bob.
I hope she calls it the ride of a lifetime.
The hyperspace ride of a lifetime, the flight of a lifetime,
the galactic star cruiser ride of a lifetime.
But now, so she was the one that was so insistent that there are more Star Wars stories in front of us than there are behind us, and this new generation, these are their characters. Was it if you scroll down a bit, you'll see it actually highlights by generation, about what people are watching, the generational breakdown. Gen Alpha is watching The Mandalorian. Gen Z is watching The Clone Wars. Millennials and Gen X are watching Andor, and baby boomers are watching The Mandalorian.
Wow.
That's Q1 2026.
Well, that's interesting.
Isn't that fat? Like, because they were so sure that Gen Z and Gen Alpha were going to embrace the sequel trilogy, that they were going to embrace these characters, that this was going to be their Star Wars, and they're watching The Clone Wars and The Mandalorian.
What's interesting to me about this is that Gen X and millennials, who I think collectively we would refer to as cynics, are going to the gritty realism and dourness of Andor.
Yes.
Whereas the boomers and the young kids who are optimistic are going to The Mandalorian.
They just want the key jangling.
And Gen Z, I can't quite figure out. I'm not sure why they're watching the Clone Wars. That's
they grew up with it.
Because they're weird. But my grandmother loves The Mandalorian.
They shouldn't have grown up with it. That would have been before their time.
Yeah, probably would have.
Not necessarily.
Well, I guess
Gen
29 at the upper end. 29 at the upper end of the scale. I guess you're right. Some of them would have.
Yeah.
I was looking at the lower end of the scale.
I hate being millennial. I hate.
Yeah, I know. I hate getting that. I hate being labeled that. But
yeah.
Though, I mean, it's not the curse word that it used to be, right?
Well, yeah, no. Now it's Gen Z's the worst.
Yeah, Gen Z's came up behind us.
Suck.
Millennials do suck, but Gen Z's came up behind us. Well, Gen Z's suck because they had millennial parents.
Yes. Yes.
Now Gen Z's are the worst thing ever. Gen Alpha, I actually have some hope for, because I've heard that they're like kind of based, like they're calling people retards again.
They're opinionated.
Yeah,
they're very opinionated.
Yep, that's great for society. I love it.
It is good for society, Lorne.
I know. You know what I mean.
I know.
Bring slurs back. There we go.
Yes. Make bullying great again.
It's good for society. Culture Crossfire.
Man, I was
Make
bullied.
Slurs happen.
I was bullied so horrifically as a kid, and I became like I became like iron from it. Like
you were bullied because you were a showgirl.
Well, I was a theater kid. You're right.
Note the non-denial.
I was a theater kid, but like the strongest steel is forged in flame. That's why everyone that comes up now is soft, because the second you even say the word bullying, the school goes into like a lockdown.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Well, this is fascinating, and it is wow. I can't. I can believe it. I can't believe it, but I very much can. Star Wars is not in a healthy place. Putting these numbers out, knowing how poor they are, is really ballsy.
Well, because from Variety's perspective, because Variety didn't mention the sequel trilogy or the Acolyte in their coverage, it was just people watched 53 billion minutes of Star Wars in 2025. Yeah. Look how popular Star Wars still is. And what they unknowingly said was, look how popular old Star Wars is.
Star Wars.
And,
honestly, this is why I am convinced it's the money people now calling the shots. I think that they are saying, listen, you had your shot. You've been doing this for a decade. You have destroyed the property. Nobody cares about the stuff that you're putting out. Despite everything that you say about it being a vocal minority, that is obviously not true, because we can't sell action figures. Star Wars is what made action figures.
Yeah.
So
I always point to Hasbro. Like, Hasbro got the Star Wars toy license, which is the holy grail of all toy licenses, and they're going bankrupt.
It killed Toys R Us. The Last Jedi killed Toys R Us. Well, it was like the final nail in an already sinking ship. It was the final plug removed. Toys R Us was already failing, but then they kind of doubled down on The Last Jedi, thinking that was going to be part of, like, okay, well, that could be a resurgence, and it was the last piece to knock them out. But,
nobody wanted those Rose Tico action figures. They had the stones to make Acolyte action figures. A friend of mine sent me a picture from Ollie's, and it was like a wall of hologram OSHA action figures, and like it was just a full wall, and each peg was like 10 figures deep. And I was like, well, those action figures live there now.
And their next home is the landfill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gentlemen, that brings us to what I would like to do for really to celebrate the day.
You want to go to the chat first?
Is we go to the chat. That's what we're gonna do.
To the chat.
To the chat. Let's see. Where did we leave off here? I think we got Butter Biscuit before, right?
Yes, we did.
Saw this
we did get that one.
You.
Archer Merchant for 5. Michael Biehn should have been a disgruntled commando that took Baby Yoda back in time. Reverse Terminator, and Baby Yoda becomes Yoda. Problem solved.
No.
Could you imagine?
That would explain why Yoda speaks backwards.
Oh no. Thank you.
when Yaddle talked, when Bryce Dallas Howard voiced Yaddle for the first time, and she didn't speak like that, I was like, wait, so Yoda's just retarded? Like, is Yoda just dyslexic? Like, why does he do that?
No, and then they had to say something like he does it intentionally.
They actually do have an explanation for it.
Screw with people, I do.
That's the way his master spoke.
Oh, come on!
That's so
it was
dumb.
better not knowing.
Why couldn't Yaddle just talk like that?
Yeah, because Bryce Dallas Howard, they didn't want to. They had somebody voicing her, and it was supposed to be, oh well, Yaddle's very intelligent, and honorable, and she's not stupid like Yoda.
Yoda's the wisest person in the entire series.
But that was done to humiliate Yoda.
Oh yeah,
to downplay Yoda as being a stupid frogman.
If
where
only
Yaddle is so much more sophisticated.
Well, Yaddle also died like, like got her ass whooped. Yeah, I actually liked that cartoon where we saw Dooku kill Yaddle. I actually liked that.
The shorts aren't bad, which
some of
we'll
them
get
are.
into more in a second.
The Barris one, I hated that, but the Dooku one,
first episode was good, and then as soon as we got to the second one, it was like
when they started using the they them pronouns.
We need to save them off.
Well, my favorite thing was the Inquisitor was like, where are they? And I'm just like, oh well,
Yeah.
nice of the Inquisitor to, they're evil,
Yeah.
but they're not evil enough to not use your preferred pronouns.
That's right. Yeah. Done. The episode wasn't even that good anyway. Oh wait, did we get this? Or Luke is testing.
Or Archimurchant for another 5. Or Luke is testing the future vision and sees the danger of not training Palpatine's daughter. A horrible trilogy. So he goes and finds her as a kid. I don't think you're ever getting Rey again. I think that whatever happens, Palpatine never has his clone son.
We might get Luke before we get anything else with Rey.
I'd rather get Luke. Archimurchant for 2. Can you imagine a trans Yuuzhan Vong? I mean, how would you tell the difference? Like they were
under this regime, yes.
Mike Glass gifted 5 M4 Empire memberships. Thank you so much, Mike Glass.
Shout out. Come on.
Thank you very much.
Just froze on me. There we go.
Archimurchant for another 2. Here's one more. Old Republic cutscene is better. I do like that Old Republic cutscene.
It's just I have big problems with the story. It's a stream for another day. The Old Republic story, I think, is.
I mean, I didn't like the game. I thought it just had a good cutscene.
It did have good cutscenes.
Archimurchant for 2. They're doing 20-minute Mando previews today. Oh,
they are really scared.
Yes, they are.
And you know that everybody that's going to those is going to be an influencer or a journalist or somebody with some kind of sphere of influence, and they're going to come out and they're going to say it's the most amazing thing ever.
It's going to be the spit take guy, that's a Sarlacc guy. It's going to be like it's going to be the girl that goes wah.
No, you know what? Like, I
got me like pew 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 pew.
Knowing that, like, I clear numbers on those people, but they get all this special treatment. Like we all do. All of us here, we clear numbers on these shills. Because the problem is when you're a shill, the only way the shilling works is if the property itself is accepted by the normal general audience.
Right.
And in this case, it's not. So all the shill audiences, they've got no people anymore to shill to.
Right.
Anyway.
Digress. Clifflix for 5. Oh, good to see you, Clifflix. I strongly suspect the book has way more Disney names than just Iger. Might target Josh, Dana, board names, and way more. Is Chapek behind it? Chapek is apparently involved in it. The rumor is that one of Chapek's one of his sources is Chapek.
That would be really hard because he's got to be behind an ironclad NDA.
Oh, I'm sure. Archimurchant for 2. Dooku closed the door on Yaddle versus Yoda.
Squish.
He certainly did.
All right, gentlemen. With that, and thank you all for the chat, and thank you guys for being here. This is a very abrupt stream, right? But it's Star Wars Day, so we got to do something fun. But that brings us to, and I think this is going to be exciting because we haven't been able to do this collectively together. And I think with Lauren here as the resident expert, I think we're going to be able to argue a little bit more about some things that are good versus some things that are bad. So what we're going to do is the Disney Star Wars projects SLOP tier list. So to explain how this is going to be, with S being the worst.
Oh, okay. So S here is like the actual, like we're rating it in terms of how slop it is.
Right. And not slop being it's decent. It's actually okay. And of course, there's the didn't see if, I think collectively we haven't seen. I think at least one of us is going to have seen all of this or experienced part of this. But this is, I think, everything. I think we're missing Fallen Order. But I'll pull that up later as we get into it. But the first thing we have here, and let me zoom out a little bit.
Is Rebels?
Star Wars Rebels.
Not slop.
I'll drop it in the C category, and then we could move it around after we.
I would say not slop. I think Rebels actually had some cool episodes. I liked a lot of Rebels.
I would also say not slop. I think Rebels is okay for what it is. I have problems with it, but those problems are manageable.
Lauren?
I'm between C and not slop. I like most of Rebels, but there were a couple of things that it did that I have some pretty solid problems with. So if you're both going not slop, I would go the same.
Okay. So it's not
Okay,
sloppy.
so all right, and here's the thing: we can move them. So if there's something else, we can move them around later if we change our mind at all. So it's not like, some people do these and they're like, well, we're not moving anything. It's all locked.
So A would be like pretty sloppy.
Worst of the worst.
No, S
Pretty
would
sloppy.
be S is
S
tier
right.
slop.
You're right.
A is like really sloppy. B is slop, and C is like kind of slop.
Tales of the Underworld.
All right, you got to remind me which one. This is the one with Ventress, right? Ventress was the one,
Yeah.
and then what was the other one that we followed?
Cad Bane.
This is C tier slop, in my opinion.
Didn't see.
I would also say that it is C tier slop. I just don't care for any of these shorts, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad, but I don't care for it at all.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I would argue for it being more sloppy because this is once again where they resurrected Asajj, right?
Yes, but you know what they did? They actually did include the final scene of the novel in one of the shorts.
Does that excuse it?
It doesn't, but like I was like good on them for not just throwing the novel out the window.
And she's still alive at the end of this anyway, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're not getting rid of her.
No, because it's another woman, and Star Wars doesn't kill its women.
It doesn't kill its women, and they still have the live action Ventress card to play.
It is so on the nose of how they don't kill women. It's obnoxious. It ruins the story. There's no impact.
Carrie Fisher, Leia only died because Carrie Fisher died.
Well, and that's the only woman character that I think should still be alive. Like,
well,
the
you know,
only one I care about.
And Padme died because like she had to.
She had to. All right, that brings us to Tales of the Jedi, which is another series of shorts.
All right, what were the shorts in this one?
Dooku.
That's the ones with Yaddle and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Yaddle, and it's also Ahsoka and the Inquisitor from the Maul series that she bodies in one hit.
Yep.
I see, because I like the Dooku ones.
I don't hate these actually.
Yeah, I would maybe like the Ahsoka ones were slop.
Yes,
so I can't put it in not slop. So I think it's got to be C tier.
Yes. Totally agree.
Yeah, then it stays in the C because I would agree with that. And next we have this is a very big one. This is a
slop.
big one for me.
Ahsoka?
Yes. S tier slop.
S tier slop, yeah.
I'm so glad we all agreed on that. This is the worst show they've ever. This is worse than The Last Jedi to me. It is the worst thing that they've produced.
I mean, we talked to Nick Gillard about it and about how like she's a prequel era character and should fight like a prequel era character and just doesn't. I also firmly believe it should have been, you should have let Ashley Eckstein wear the makeup and be the character. It's her character, but Rosario Dawson campaigned for it and stole another actress's role.
Have you seen her lately? Ashley Eckstein?
Ashley Eckstein, she looks better than Rosario Dawson.
I don't know about that. She looks. I've seen her at, and that's not to say anything mean about her. I like her. I've met her quite a few times. It's just she doesn't. She's a little old. She's a little too old for the role, I think.
I don't know. I don't think so, but it's still S tier slop.
It is still S tier slop. Okay, Andor season 1.
All right, that's slop. That's not slop. Yeah,
it is not slop. Although I would argue that it could go into C tier. I think parts of Andor are brilliant, but I think of it as more of a 60-40, where 60% is really good, but there's still that 40%, which is a waste of my time.
The only complaint I have about it is that it's got a slow start. And after you get to the end of the series, I understand why it has a slow start, but it does ask for a lot of patience from the audience.
That's my thing. Like, I didn't really like get hardcore into it because the first few episodes were just so slow. So, I mean, like, I've watched clips here and there now. I know most of what happens. So that's how I know it's not slop, but I've never watched the whole thing through.
So I would say this, I waited until I didn't watch it when it first premiered specifically. I wanted to wait for the second season to finish because they said it's only going to be 2 seasons. And that's what I did. So I waited for the second season to come out and I started binging it leading right into the ending, and then I watched Rogue One, and watching it like that was so much better than if I went week to week to week to week. I would have hated this show if it was week to week.
I actually watched season 1 with my son this last week. He'd never seen it, and he loved it, which was really that was cool for me.
The Bad Batch.
That's awesome. Bad Batch.
See, I kind of like the Bad Batch at times, but I don't like Omega.
See, this is weird because I'd never finished it, so I can't say I didn't see it, but I also can't say that I did.
Same.
So,
I saw some of it, but I didn't see all of it. And I like
the
Bad Batch. I like the Bad Batch as a concept, also.
I think I'd put it as A.
A slop, like it's sloppy.
Yeah, I think it's sloppy enough that I'd put it in slop. Not S tier slop, but for me it's an A.
So that's
I like the fact that they put some EU content in there, but I thought that their method of doing it's basically the Bad Batch is Republic Commando by any other name, and they made them goofy, and so to me that's sloppy. They should have just done Republic Commando.
I don't know. See, I would have probably gone C or B for this.
Okay,
split the difference. Go B.
I think it's B. I would have voted B. So A, B, and then Marv.
Yeah, we'll land in the middle. I was gonna say I would have said C probably, but
I'll live with it.
I didn't hate it, but I also didn't care for it. But it's not the worst thing that they've made. It's also not the best. But it's got a lot of slop. I would have just preferred Republic Commandos too.
Yep.
And that brings us to The Force Awakens.
I think you put it exactly where it needs to be.
Nope.
You think it's a C?
I think it's.
I liked it when it came out.
I think it's A, man.
I would say B at the most.
S tier slop.
S tier.
S tier slop.
If that's the case, then we land on A.
We land in A. Yeah, I think we land in A.
Marv, it is A New Hope. They didn't even do a movie. They didn't.
I like
A
New
movie.
Hope.
Okay, so the reason what do I hate more? I hate Ahsoka more than I hate The Force Awakens.
Right.
So
does that make The Force Awakens better?
Yeah, but I know that I hate the other two way more than Force Awakens, so there has to be somewhere else for it to go.
I can't believe I'm being harder on this stuff than you guys are.
I'm willing to sway and say that all of the trilogy is S tier slop. I'm so willing to do that.
I'll go along with it. All right, I will follow along.
The chat here is I see they're all saying S tier, so
I feel like we should have something above S tier slop, which is like universe ending slop.
God tier slop.
God tier slop. Because the Acolyte, we need a place for the Acolyte to go.
I think Ahsoka's worse.
Really?
Oh yeah. I did a whole video on it a few years ago. I'm like, this is the worst thing they've ever made. Okay, God tier slop remains open for now. We'll put something in.
Do we want to move Ahsoka into that?
Ahsoka should be up there. I disagree with creating another category. I really think that this is all garbage.
This is just garbage. Well, no, because there might be it actually lessens. Well, let's see if we keep going. Right. Tales of the Empire. That's
all right. So is that Barriss? That's Barriss Sophie and
yeah.
Oh, and the other one was like the Night Sister from Ahsoka. Yeah, it's A.
Yeah, that's A. I think
that's A tier. Yeah.
Last Jedi.
S tier slop.
It's not slop, you guys.
Stop it.
Directly to the bin.
Yeah. It is the most divisive, damaging film ever made. It is the film that started the decline. It is the film that nosedived the franchise. It is the death of Star Wars, simply put. I mean, it is this movie was so obsessed with subverting your expectations, it failed to meet your expectations.
It cost billions of dollars in value. Yep. It's S tier slop.
Yep.
Mando season 2.
Oh, season 2 is not slop.
Not slop.
Yeah.
Not slop. I would agree with that. I had a great time with season 2.
I had a really good time.
Fun. It had a great ending. Cara Dune was awesome. Bo-Katan at the time was awesome. The other Mandalorians were cool too. Even the ice planet in retrospect, I kind of like that episode now. That time has passed. The
I loved
Boba
every
Fett's
single
reintroduction.
episode.
Yeah.
I loved the first episode, the Crate Dragon. I
That was a
loved
great episode.
all of that. Cobb Vanth's
Cobb
introduction.
Vanth, yep.
Yeah.
What was it? Season 1 or 2 where they had that really weird, creepy frog lady?
2.
Okay.
Because it was
Yeah,
the ice planet. She was on board the ship when they were
Where's eating the
transporting her
eggs?
with the eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They opened the season with the Crate Dragon on Tatooine, right out of KOTOR.
And when it finally emerges and they actually open up the letterbox to go big, it's like that was a ballsy move.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. That was when Star Wars, there was like a little bit of hope of like, oh my gosh, this actually could be fun again. And then ending with Luke, and that was 6 years ago. And we got nothing good since. Mando 3.
S tier slop.
S tier slop.
S tier slop.
Oh yeah, no, this is irredeemable.
Truly awful.
Well, that's 2 S tiers, so I'm beat. I would have put it in A. Rogue One.
Not slop.
Not slop.
I would agree. That is not slop.
It is probably the best thing that they've made.
It's the best movie that they've made for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Rise of
S-tier
Palpatine.
This movie was just a correction of The Last Jedi. It spends so much time trying to undo everything Rian Johnson did that it forgets to actually do anything.
And it's trying to do a Return of the Jedi while failing to do a Return of the Jedi.
Yes. It's you know what? I can say one good thing about this movie, why I'm thankful for it. It ended J.J. Abrams' career.
It did irreparable damage.
He has not written or directed anything since then.
Another $1 billion, many billions of dollars destroyer there.
That movie cost $600 million to make. And so it made over $1 billion and still lost money.
I am actually surprised anybody even remembers this exists. S tier slop.
Star Wars Resistance?
Yes, it was awful.
Oh yeah, it's pretty S tier.
Is it on par with Ahsoka
no,
and
you know what?
Jedi?
I would say A tier slop, honestly.
Because it could go into A.
Yeah.
You're gonna put that up against Tales of the Empire? Really?
Yeah, probably.
Well, okay.
To be fair, I've only seen clips. I've never actually seen the show.
I saw it. It was awful.
You're being too, but Skeleton Crew?
Skeleton Crew.
B or C?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think I'm going to give it a B.
Yeah, I think I'll go B also.
From what I've seen, and I've seen a few episodes, I would give it a B. It is wasteful with time.
Yeah, it's not bad per se. It's just not really Star Wars either.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Andor Season 2.
Not slop.
Yeah, I would agree. That is not slop. Battlefront 2.
Not slop, in my opinion.
Story.
Let me. Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. Is it the
okay.
Or
I
is
thought we were going by just...
We're only talking story.
Oh, A.
I think it's slop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's A. The whole thing.
We were talking the gameplay because I enjoyed the gameplay.
No, the gameplay was okay, but the actual story was not good for Star Wars. Operation Cinder and everything that meant moving forward, it made things confusing with Palpatine of like, oh, he's still alive, but also he tried to destroy the Empire. Why? Why would he do that? That seems
because he's
stupid.
a spiteful man.
Yeah. That makes no tactical sense. Solo, a Star Wars story.
I'm going to call it C. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I like Solo. I would normally say it's not slop, except for the thing with the activist droid played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That puts it in
that
C
hurts
tier
this
for me.
movie. That hurts it so bad. Book of the Boba Fett.
S tier slop.
I'm going to have a really hard time with this one because I hate what they did with the character, but I don't think that it's that egregious. I would say A, I think.
I would also say A.
Fine, I'll go with you.
It's not as bad as some of the other things on this list.
And it has 2 good Mandalorian episodes in it.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
It's like, also, it's like, I don't actually, a lot of people didn't like the fact that he joined the Sand People for a while. I actually don't mind that. That part to me makes sense. It's pretty much everything that he does afterwards that doesn't. Anything involving the Pikes or being a crime lord and all of that stuff, and then deciding he wants to be a mayor, all of that is just nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like maybe a third of the show is pretty good.
I would have preferred the time with the Tusken Raiders was like 15 minutes in one episode, not a full.
Well,
I think almost 2 episodes.
They gave us live action Cad Bane with a great introduction for him.
Yes, they did.
And then when finally it's Cad Bane versus Boba Fett, and I was like, let's go. And it was 2 seconds long. It lasted for 2 seconds. I mean, I get it. It lasted for 2 seconds because it was very much like an old Western shootout. And it was typically, 5 paces, draw, and fire. But we spent more time with 2 random female characters in that crazy, like, we're fighting battle droids finale than we did with Boba Fett in the final fight with Cad Bane.
My biggest complaint about the Book of Boba Fett is they made a climax where you have Boba Fett riding a Rancor and somehow it's boring.
Yeah, somehow that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
It's like that should have been everybody. It's like that's a comic book 2-page spread.
Like,
and yet,
I would imagine walking into every comic book shop I would ever go into for the rest of my life and seeing like a giant hot toy of that.
And you've got Danny Trejo as the Rancor keeper. It's like, how do you miss with this?
The Acolyte.
Oh my God! Come on!
Come on now!
It needs its own category. It needs its own category. Honestly, that's why. This is why I wanted the God tier slop category, because the Acolyte
slop,
and I wanted the Acolyte to be the only thing in it. I mean, just name it the Acolyte.
That's funnier. Yep.
All right, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
S tier slop.
Okay, can I ask a question on this one?
Yes,
Hold on.
yes.
Yeah, I think I might not put this on S tier.
I think there's actually a good show in here. But I think that good show is going to be an edit that is being made by a guy who actually does special effects work for Lucasfilm. It's called Trials of the Master, and he redoes pretty much the whole movie to make it not only geographically accurate for where things are located, but also puts the focus back on Obi-Wan and Luke, does color correction and everything else. That is not what we got. So could we count it on a theoretical, or do we have to do what Disney actually gave us?
Oh, we got to do what we actually got.
Yeah, unfortunately, because then there's also the Kai Peterson cut of the movie, which is like it's 2.5 hours, and he adds in scenes, and it's a way better like movie. Like, a lot of people are cutting this together. It's like, was there potential there, and could you harvest some scenes to make something worthwhile? Sure, but the actual canon of it is terrible.
I would say probably probably A, because I do like. Here's the thing, and I know people yell at me for this, but I do like the fight with Obi-Wan and Vader at the end. Because I think I read a little bit too much into it. Because I in my opinion, like they put more thought into it than I think they actually did. Because I think they accidentally stumble on a couple of good storytelling moments in that I don't think were intended.
For what it's worth, I did watch a Sword Master review that fight. And he praised it to high heaven, saying that they were using real sword fighting techniques that were accurate and correct. So he loved that fight from a technical standpoint.
And I'm like a sword fight guy, so I love that too. But you know what? I also did not hate the characterization of Vader in this. I thought we got some cool Vader stuff, like when he walks in to the Fortress Inquisitorius, you were warned, and like picks her up with the Force. I actually really liked how Obi-Wan callously feeds what's her face to Vader, where he talks her up and gives her that pep talk and is like, I think you've got this. I don't think he can hold a candle to you. I think you need to stand your ground while we run away, and you can have your revenge.
That's you mentally doing gymnastics to try and find a reason to accept the show.
Come on, that's really funny when he jazzes her up to fight Vader, knowing full well what's about to happen to her.
I don't think that's what that scene was.
That's cold Obi-Wan. That is cold Obi-Wan. That is the Obi-Wan that when Padme falls out of the ship in episode 2 is like, excellent, we're carrying less weight now.
Yeah. All right. That is Clone Wars Obi-Wan. Yeah. Clone Wars Obi-Wan would do that too.
But yeah, I like that scene with Vader. I like I like when he pulls the ship down and he's just ripping it apart with the Force. Like there's Vader moments that I like. It's just Jedi, the show in total is slop. What was this?
Yeah, the show itself is garbage. Jedi Survivor,
not slop.
I would 100% agree. Jedi Survivor slaps.
Phenomenal.
Star Wars Squadrons.
Are we going on story?
I didn't play that.
Story.
The story's awful, so I'd have to put it in S tier slop. And as a game, it's like, God, there's a lot that I liked about it, but it wasn't X-Wing either. It was trying to be. So if we were judging it on story, S tier slop. If we're judging it on game,
like a B
or C.
I forgot to play that.
It keeps going on sale for like $5. You probably get it today for $5.
Huh. Yeah, it's mostly a multiplayer game, and there's no community left. So the only reason
you can play it without multiplayer.
Okay. But I would suggest to you that it's really only worth it if you're going to play it in VR.
Okay.
I'm just not good at those games. The Clone Wars final season, not the whole series, just the final season.
Not slop in
50-50. But it's got the Martez sisters.
It's going. I hate this show. This is an A for me.
Oh, see, I like that last episode with Order 66.
Oh no. Where we okay? So we lose 3 episodes on the Martez sisters. We lose 3 episodes on the Bad Batch, which are actually the Bad Batch episodes are the best in that season. And then we get to the Maul episodes where they emasculate Maul again. They bring him back for him to lose. Canonize. He knows that Anakin is Darth Vader. And then, he'll kill me. Oh, great. Maul's a loser again. The last episode, Bury the Dead, is fine, but everything with Maul, I hate about it.
So I think I would put it probably at C, but you're talking about putting it at A, and Marv's talking about putting it at not slop. So I think we'd have to split the difference and make it a B.
That would bring it that would make it more like a C.
Yeah.
You think?
I'll make it more like a C. Yeah.
All right. I think C is fine.
I think C is okay. Mandalorian 1.
Not slop.
Not slop.
Yeah, I like
Jedi Fallen Order.
Not slop.
That is not slop. Battlefront 1. Which didn't
I don't even remember
there was no story.
Yeah.
There was no story in that one. So we're going strictly on gameplay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take that one off then because it's not fair. Yeah. Star Wars Outlaws.
S tier slop.
Didn't see for me, so.
For me, this is S tier slop. This is rough.
This is S tier slop. This is bad.
This is really bad. I'm almost fearful. Like we need to, like, is this like really the worst of the worst? Does any of it belong differently? Is B balanced? I think we're pretty balanced.
I think an argument could be made that Squadrons could go in A instead of S tier slop.
I kind of want to agree with that because I feel like Outlaws is worse.
Yeah. I think the rest
is worse.
Everything else in S tier slop, I think, belongs there. So I think that if you do that, then we're good.
And that brings us to the last one of the night, Maul.
I got to go to S tier slop.
See, I wouldn't go S tier. I would probably go A.
How many episodes were worth watching?
But
how many are worth rewatching?
See, Now,
2
just
out of 10.
not worth watching or being boring or slightly aggravating. To me, that's A tier slop. S tier slop is S tier slop is I am grinding my teeth and yelling at the TV because it's so bad.
I was doing that because it was wasting my time.
It too. In the final few.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
5 hours rather.
I'll go with you.
I
just feel like something that had 2 good episodes probably is an S tier slop.
That's 20%.
Still, but S tier slop is 100% of it is bad.
Good Lord.
I'll
give you the A only because. No, I'll go S. I'll
well, no. I technically I'm the tiebreaker. You A and S. I don't know where I stand on it because is it as bad as Mandalorian? Is it as bad as Ahsoka? I don't think it's as bad. Well, actually, no. It is. It's the dark side version of Ahsoka. So if you don't like Ahsoka, you can't like Maul. It's got to stay in the S tier because it is.
You're right. Okay.
It's the same story. The same story again with just a couple different plot beats.
I accept your premise. All right. So what do we have that's not slop that Disney has created? Rebels, Andor, Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, Rogue One, Andor, and the Cal Kestis games.
That's not a lot.
No.
Well, I think you can argue that the C tier is still good enough to be acceptable.
If it was just C tiers, then that would be fine. Like if it was, but like the bad outweighs the good by a lot.
Right. But what I'm saying though is that everything B and above, I would toss out and I wouldn't miss at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think C and not slop are acceptable and could be retained. That's how I would read it.
We just this is a very important comment, and I feel stupid for not knowing it. Did you guys see Visions?
We did forget Visions.
We forgot Visions.
I never saw Visions. So.
I saw it, but I don't remember it.
Okay, season 1 was awesome. Season 2, it's not. I wouldn't say it's slop, but it's not as good as season 1. Season 1 was awesome.
Pro just shared with me a tweet that says Disney Lucasfilm is inviting Disney shill influencers to the Mandalorian and Grogu premiere in desperate attempt to generate early positive reviews and reactions. Yep, that's happening.
We called it.
Exactly what
we said it.
And it's literally the spit take guy.
Of course it is.
And they're having the little Babu Fricks invite them.
The desperation rollout, man. Okay, if I try to drop this in. No, can't do it. Regardless, I would say all of Visions is not slop. And Lauren, you would like them. I think you should. I actually think you should watch the first season because, but you don't even have to watch them all in once. They're kind of like spin-off stories. They're not completely tied to canon. They're just really interesting stories.
They're what if though, right?
Yeah, they're what if.
I tend not to be a huge fan of what if stories.
It's okay, so it's not a what if Anakin was good. It's a Star Wars concept that might exist in. I think of it like World Between Worlds kind of thing. So it's not really what if Grogu got picked up by Max Rebo. It's more like here's a different take on something that could happen in a post Clone Wars world. Here's something that could happen with the Jedis, with this particular Jedi on the run.
Since you said that, can we agree that one good thing that the Book of Boba Fett did was bring back Max Rebo?
And Black Chrysanthemum, although they made him into a bitch. I like.
You know what? I'm more comfortable with Boba Fett not being S tier slop now that I remember that Max Rebo came back.
Yeah,
I did like that he was there. I don't care how he got away. I don't need to have a story about Max Rebo sensing that he needs to get off the sail barge. I just like the idea that Max. I hope actually he survived Garsa Fwip's sanctuary being blown up too. I would like to see Max Rebo just pop up somewhere else. He's like the luckiest Ortolan in the galaxy for some reason.
100%.
Yeah, they brought back Max Rebo, and later this year we're getting the return of Ben Quadaneros.
People have been asking me if I'm going to play that game, and I am, just because I loved Pod Racer, and I miss Pod Racer. I don't like the fact that we're seeing Jakku and some other sequel stuff in there, but if I get pod racing, I will play that game. So,
What's it called? What's it? Star Wars
Galactic Racers, I think.
Galactic Racer.
So the Rock apparently wore a skirt to the Met Gala and was asked about it and said, in our culture, Polynesian culture, we rock lavas and we rock skirts. The most masculine men, not that I'm one of them, but the most masculine men wear skirts. He's having a great month, The Rock. First it was real masculinity is feminism, and now it's real masculinity is wearing skirts.
He's doing a great job.
He's just doing a bang-up job.
All right, let me pull up here. Let's watch. I haven't really paid much attention to this trailer. I kind of saw it in one of the showcases, one of the game showcases, but let's see if we actually how we feel about this.
Okay. So I mean, it's a racing game. There's a pod racer.
I hate this trailer. Wow, this is hard to see.
Yeah. Deluxe edition exclusive.
Yeah, it's just skins.
It's just skins for the Naboo and Starfighter.
Through. I want an actual trailer.
Our newest racer has arrived. Welcome to the Galactic League.
The Galactic
Since you're
League.
here, why not take part in a friendly exhibition race?
Oh yeah, this is Jakku.
Yeah, it is. But Jakku could be a decent like race track because of all the down ships.
It still ties it to the sequels.
Impeding! Impeding! If they weren't holding me back right now, I'd have you frozen in
that Pike?
carbonite.
No,
I think so.
no, it's not a Pike.
Oh, what
It's
do we know what it is?
It's another alien race that was introduced in the Clone Wars, but it's not a Pike.
Ah. Is this Star Killer Base?
No, I don't think so.
Was it Star Killer Base?
It looks like Star Killer Base.
I don't think so. It's, for one thing, that's a secret place, and you wouldn't have a racetrack on it. That'd be kind of. It's like, it's maybe not the best way to hide your giant super weapon. Like, let's have an exhibition race on it.
Well, it's not Crate. It could be Ilum.
Can I say no?
Ilum is Star Killer Base.
I know.
See, that's actually one of the things that I think Disney did that was smart. I actually do think if Ilum really existed, and it was in the old canon, introduced in the original Clone Wars cartoon, and it was only a location known to the Jedi, that is one of the very first things the Empire would want to get out of their archives. And the idea that they would mine its core for the Kyber and use that for the Death Star's super weapon, that to me makes total sense. I like that part of it.
And I like that the exhaust port in the original Death Star from Rogue One was not incompetence but sabotage.
Yes, I like that too. I have some mixed feelings about the fact that you kind of, in Jedi Fallen Order, you're on Ilum and you stumble upon the Imperial base there. That sort of implies Starkiller Base, but it's not Starkiller Base.
What, in Fallen Order? To me that implies we're mining for the Death Star.
No.
Well,
It makes it seem they're building it. They're building Starkiller Base.
In Fallen Order?
Yeah.
they're technically doing both, because hollowing out Ilum is a prerequisite to building Starkiller Base. But you can headcanon it. You know, I can accept the first part of the premise without having to accept the second part of the premise. So I do think that whatever the case would be, you can completely ignore the sequel trilogy and say, yeah, I totally buy that the Empire would mine the heck out of that planet. And I like the fact that that sort of kind of makes the Death Star a giant lightsaber, which is it's the same kind of concept to me as the Emperor seating his throne right in the middle of the Jedi Temple. It's just another giant FU to the Jedi, and I like that it just makes Palpatine such a dick. I do think Disney got that part right.
Yeah, I like that. With it, whenever I think about the Death Star, though, like I think about that when you're in the Death Star at the end of Force Unleashed, and you have to run down the firing hallways and like dodge out of the way at the right time. That was so stressful. Commence primary ignition. No,
man. Well, you know, I'm just realizing if Galactic Racer, see, I'm still Galactic Star Cruiser. If Galactic Racer is dropping in, I think it's October.
It is.
Then that kind of hurts the idea that Jedi Knight or the upcoming Cal Kestis game would drop this year. They might hold it because they're not going to want to put out 2 Star Wars games back to back to bomb.
Well, I got to tell you, I was expecting a trailer drop today, and we didn't get it. So if we didn't get it today,
not a trailer, not a title, not nothing on all.
Are they holding Star Wars Celebration this year?
I believe
it's in California.
Yeah, I think I had read it was in California. It was in Orlando the year that they debuted the Last Jedi trailer, which was like I just moved here. I really hope they do it here again.
I could see them. I could see them holding the trailer for that maybe. So
no, correction. Star Wars Celebration, the next one is scheduled for April 1st through the 4th of 2027 in LA.
Okay. Well, I would guess then that we're not getting it this year then.
So that would mean we are getting
well, no, they could be saving it for like a game fest, summer game fest, or something like that.
Fair.
Not the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think they'll, or maybe like a Sony State of Play or something like that. I think they're going to do something like that. Like it'll actually be during a game event, not a Star Wars event.
Which would make sense because that's where they premiered this.
Yeah.
This was at one of those.
I see Buddy Smith out there saying, I expect the next Cal Kestis game to do a bait and switch and you end up playing the girl he ends up adopting in the end of the last game.
I've been dreading that. I think it's possible.
I think that the hook there is that they do something like God of War, where now she is there with you and you have both of those characters. But the big question here is, does Cal fully embrace the dark? And now that he has to protect her, that's going to make him a lot more susceptible to that. That's where the emotional punch of that story comes from.
I think the only way that you expand the skill tree is with dark side abilities in this one.
Yep.
I don't know if I like that. I feel like it undermines the first game a bit. Well, obviously, people can change, but the whole first game is he's being judgy against Seer, for her turning to the dark side.
Yeah,
and
but
then in the next game, he's turned to the dark side.
Yeah, but then he's going to realize how easy it is, and he'll in retrospect.
This goes to the whole question about attachment. He's got Merrin, and now he's got this adopted daughter, and now, I mean, this is what Bode was trying to basically tacitly push him towards. Mm-hmm. So that's the danger. That's the lure now. Can you maintain control when the things that you love are threatened?
And I don't know. Was Bode considered an actual dark side? Like, was he
I don't remember. Was
like a dark side user?
Was his lightsaber red? I don't think it was. Was it?
Well, so it was red at first, but that's because it wasn't his. He took Dagon's. So when it first goes red, you're like, oh my gosh, he's got a red saber. It's like, no. He stole it from Dagon Gera. And then later we see his, and it's orange.
Okay.
He is certainly not a Sith. But I think that
Right.
he's what you would have called in the old days a dark Jedi. He's a fallen Jedi.
Fallen Jedi, right. Oh,
Mhm.
going back to Old Republic stuff.
Dagan Gera was such
Well,
a like it's the one part of the game that always was like weird to me is when Dagan Gera comes out of the back to tank and immediately bleeds his crystal. I'm like, why?
Well,
I
It
didn't hate that.
he's been locked in a Bacta tank for a couple hundred years, so I'd
But like
probably
his
be a
first
little
order of
pissed.
business was to like bleed his kyber crystal.
Well,
He
they're
was
not going to
also
show you.
edgy.
They're not going to show you him taking a piss. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you're probably pretty pissed off. And I would say, yeah, probably. Actually, if you got out, look, think of it from his perspective. You had this idea that you're going to go to Tanalorr, and you're going to train up this new generation of Jedi Knights to oppose the Nile. And the Jedi Council refuses, backs away in the face of a threat. You hope that your close partner that you're attracted to is going to go in with you on this. She cuts off your arm, locks you in a Bacta tank for 200 years. And the first thing you hear when you get out is not only did the Jedi fall, but an empire has now taken control because the Jedi weren't strong enough to oppose them. So yeah, I think you'd be pretty pissed off.
Yeah, I guess. I just didn't understand like why he would like take his lightsaber apart.
I always took it as like this guy has just he's been driven mad.
I actually like the concept of the red crystals bleeding the crystal
Instead of being artificial.
Yeah,
I hate the whole concept.
I liked it when Vader did it. I didn't like it in the Acolyte because in the Acolyte it was a mood ring.
Yeah,
like
that was
it's supposed to be
bull.
very intentional. You shouldn't be able to do it on
accident.
by accident.
Well, because she was the real chosen one, Marv. Like they were chosen. They were the power of many. About many.
I do not like bleeding. I do not like bleeding at all.
I ain't got time to bleed.
The Empire's not telling you the real story.
I'm just asking questions.
I'm just asking questions. Where do all these kyber crystals come from?
Guys,
Why
I
does
apologize,
Palpatine
but
look like Sheev?
guys, I gotta. Oh, by the way, I do think that if they made additional clones of Palpatine, that there should be a scene where they all play "Bringing in the Sheaves."
Yes.
But I do have to drop.
I do too.
Yes.
I have to get to the pro show also. So
We all do. Oh,
okay.
So Lauren, we'll see you there, guys. We will be going over to the pro show in just a minute.
Do we have anything else
to
read?
I think we're good to go. We'll jump to the chat real quick. And all right, guys, this has been a Star Wars special Culture Crossfire. We are going to be going over to WDW Pro.
And
I'll hang on for a minute here so we raid once they start.
Yep. But also, we are doing our new start time on Thursday, right?
We are doing what's our new time, Mark?
Weren't we doing 9:30?
Yes. Tell people what's going on.
Yes. So Culture Crossfire on Thursdays is moving to a new early morning time. It's going to be 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see you guys there. We're trying it out. We're seeing how it works.
Yes, we're going to try and do it a little earlier and make it all work. But all right, guys, we're going to just get this thing going. We'll see you over at the pro show in just a few minutes. All right.
All right.
All right,
Gentlemen, I'll see you there.
see you, sir.